Welcome back, my brothers and sisters and lovers. This is Rebels United Chapter 11. You are never alone. And we have not had an episode for past week, so we are getting together after some time, and a lot has changed. And today I'm planning to have a completely different talk show because we have done our normal routine. You already know how we feel about all the subjects. So we're going to deep dive into philosophy and, mundane possibilities of conspiracy theories. Those are turning out to be true every given day. But before we can go to that, we definitely have Joseph and Bhavin with us. But at the same time, we have a new we'll say host, co-host of the show. Uh, he goes by Midnight American, and I welcome you to the show. You can introduce yourself in any way you like. I would definitely like to inform our audience on any political lineage, if you have, or inclination, if you go by any specific pronouns, anything that gives us a little bit of your profile to understand where you're coming from. So, uh, your turn, sir. Please go ahead.
Okay. I'm Ben Juhl, and I am the host, like you said, of Midnight American, which is actually more of my political channel on YouTube. I have another channel called Dirt Capsule Studio, where I have the short films that I've written and produced, and a lot of the artwork that I've done. So that's pretty much what I do. Is I'm an artist and have worked in production, film production, in and out of LA for the last 20 years, and up till about a year ago, and then kind of just switched gears during the time that this whole strike thing was going on and just things slowed down. I said, I'm going to go ahead and turn it more towards doing fine art. So I've been working in that direction, but still love film, still love working production, behind the scenes, in front of the camera, behind the camera, the whole 9 yards. So yeah.
Very sweet. Would you mind sharing a little bit more about your podcast and especially your name, Midnight American? What's that about? I'm very curious.
Well, I started that one mainly because I knew that how YouTube was about, kind of, anytime you put something political out there that that might get your channel throttled in some kind of way, censored in some kind of way, which I didn't want to do because I got a lot of really good stuff on Dirt Capsule Studio. So I started Midnight American just to be able to put out more of my, political opinions on current events. And I would talk about current events and, things that were a little more edgy, that if that channel got pulled down, it hopefully wouldn't affect the other channel. That was the whole idea, but that was just more to speak from the heart about current events.
Right. Oh, it's amazing because I'm a full-blooded Indian.
Mm-hmm.
I came to America with an American dream, right? I saw America as the hero, and this was in 2010. And here in 2023, I'm realizing that America might be the biggest evil corporation on earth at the moment, which is not by choice, just like Hamas is not by choice for Palestinians, right? But the blame, when it falls on everybody. So what I'm trying to do with this channel is to stop the divide with people from Democratic side as well as Republican side, but it's really hard to get people from other side to come and talk to us. At the same time, we are trying to give people a different perspective from every aspect of life that affects you, whether it's politics or religion or God or being atheist or being a scientist. We are very embracing of every possibility, and we do not deny anybody a chance to express. And that's what American freedom should be about. And that's what this channel is about.
Awesome.
Yep. So thank you for that. Thanks for joining, and let's dive into the first topic I want to talk about. Everybody gets their 5 minutes, and I would love to know. Uh, let's start with the hard stuff that's happening. So we already had discussion on Hamas and Israel, and everybody has their side, and it's just very difficult to comprehend at this point. What I'm trying to understand is, let's say Joe Biden gets his wish. We are getting into another crappy situation right before election year. Just like COVID happened, now this is happening. Ukraine is already a losing front. Now government is starting to accept it and everything. So let's play devil's advocate. Because what I want to figure out is who is on the top of this chain of pain and suffering, who is causing this, and if they win, if they get their wish, what would be the outcome. I want to talk about, like, it will definitely be bad, but is there a possibility of something good coming out of it? We're gonna play the devil's advocate. There will be draft, most probably, as I'm hearing at the moment that in January we are doing a like massive deployment. So I'm guessing that's what they are aiming for when the war is gonna pick up. It might be wrong, but that's my current understanding. So let's say all those things do progress, and I don't think any side will be able to stop it at this point because they are still in too much power. What could American people can do? Number one. Number two, do we even have I will say a generation that is ready to get drafted? Are they going to be able to even handle all that? Number three, it is necessary for America to have that top down dog image across the world, because if America goes down, I have lived in India. I have seen what China does. I have seen what Russia does. As much as I have respect for all the countries, I don't want to live in China. I don't want to live in Russia, because that's just not what I see as a great life. Great life is in America. So are the values. I'm not saying everybody should be like America, but America should be like America, which is just going away for some reason. So that's my opinion, and I want you to address all these points and guide it to who could be on the top, because my understanding says it's WEF that is basically pulling all the strings through different banks and different companies, but it feels like they're just the managers. Just like now they are going after Bill Gates, they have gone after Fauci. These guys are going to fall. There would be more, and it could go up, but that we cannot stop at them. We have to know who's above them, which I have no idea about. So let's do round table, and any volunteers, those who want to go first. All right, so I guess let's start with Midnight America because this is your debut with us. Please go ahead.
Ben? Ben, did we lose you?
Yeah, he went back to listener. I'm like, what's happening?
Huh.
Okay, Joe, if you want to go ahead while I try to fix it.
Yeah, well, I don't know who exactly is at the top. I do know that George Soros and Klaus Schwab are right near the top, if not the top. Um, they control a lot of stuff, but it's a kind of a large group of very bad actors. Um, and they've been working this for a long time. It's not like they're hiding, or we don't know this. They tell us exactly what they're going to do before they do it, and then they do it, and people don't believe us when we tell them what they said, and they don't believe us when they do it. So I don't know about
Right.
that, but yeah, they want to control the world. They want to control every human, every movement, every thought. and it's scary because I do believe they're going to get there eventually.
But what would drive somebody to do something like that? Let's play their side. Let's say they are right.
Yeah.
Okay. Why are they right to do something to other fellow humans?
They believe that their way is the best way, just kind of like Hitler did, their way is the best way, and people that stand in the way of that way need to be gotten rid of. They just need to be gotten out of the way. So, yeah, they just think it's better for the whole planet if everybody does exactly what they say. They think they're
But
smarter than everybody else, and they know. So,
Okay,
but what are they saying?
what are they
Yeah,
saying?
please go.
I got
Well,
kicked
Right.
off for a little bit there, so I kind of caught the first part
Okay,
of your
there you
question.
are.
So sorry about that. I don't know what happened.
All right, no worries.
So I'm listening. Go ahead, Joe.
Okay. So, yeah, what do they think? They think that they should control the money for sure. So they're into power, control. Those are the biggest things. And money is part of that power. So they want to be able to control every dime you spend. And yeah, so they just feel like they want to be the captain of the ship, and everybody else is their subordinate. They were born to be basically the god of this world, and you are just, a peon for them to kick around.
So, okay, let's go with that thought, right? Number one, let's talk about money. Money which is fiat, which is not even real money at this point, and which is devaluing at crazy pace. Let's say they are right and they get to control everything, right?
All right.
That's not gonna bring anything good in this world. What I understand is they want green energy. Sure, there are better options for green energy, and you have not brought up any of them. So I don't think that's your objective. You want to control us. Okay, great. Why do you want to control us? Are you going to do something better for us if you get to have that control? Again, seems to be failing. Your food, mock meat or bug based food, nobody likes to eat it, and they are causing more problems than they are healing. You want to reduce the population. Again, I am with you. We killed so many species, but that doesn't seem to be your objective. It seems like you just want us to suffer and give up our free will to have any life. Okay, let's say even you succeed in that. Instead of focusing on something like that, you could have made us a multiplanetary species. You could have made energy free and give us an opportunity to show you that we are better than this, but you keep us fighting with each other instead of uniting. So if you want to sit on the top of the pyramid, oppression is not the right way to go, because look at anybody who has tried to do it. They all failed.
Yeah.
So
But they still believe that they're going to do it right. The thing about money, they're going to, it's going to go digital, and that's how they will control it, because they will have the only digital world currency. So they will be able to
right.
control your spending. The other thing is, you say that they bring misery. Every, and I've said this for many years, every liberal policy is designed to bring poverty and misery. That's the plan, so that you will vote for them so that they can control you. They want you to think they're going to come and rescue you. But every problem facing the United States is a direct result of liberal policies. I've said that over and over again. That's an observation of mine. No one told me to say that. I found that
Right.
out by watching.
And we all owe you an apology and everybody who has been saying this, because I used to be on the other side thinking this is nonsense. And well, guess what? I cannot even afford gas anymore. So
Yeah, the funny thing
cheers
is,
to that.
I was on the other side. I was a hard lefty, radical
No.
lefty for a while, and you know, my eyes were opened slowly, but once they were opened, it's like, holy cow, you cannot go back.
Right. Thank you for saying that. I feel the same way. I'm not even lying. Pre-COVID, I was still a hardcore Democrat.
Yeah.
So let's give Ben a chance to talk about this. Ben, your opinion on the subject matter.
I kind of, like I said, I kind of come in on the. I lost kind of the second part of what you were talking about. There was a lot there to unpack just from what you were talking about, though. In my opinion, as far as all the powers that be, and putting us into the foreign wars and all of this, and now you talked about the climate change agenda and all of that. There's so much that plays into this, but I think a big part of it is not so much that they think that they're smarter than us in respect to the fact that they think that they're going to do something better for us than what we can do for ourselves. I think it's more a dynamic of selling, okay, because they are in a position to make money off the populace, to make themselves powerful and to make themselves rich. And we are nothing but business, kind of like small businesses to them. And so everything is in respect to what they're doing plays into keeping us stupid and uninformed. And that's the way you actually sell people. If you've never been in sales, the way that you sell people is by what they don't know, by what they're not able to do, by what they're not able to control. And then you sell them based, oh shit, God damn it. Sorry, I got cut off there. Are you there?
Yeah, we are here.
And then you sell them, you sell that person based on the information that you give them. So all the information that they're giving us, everything that they're controlling, everything they're manipulating in the world right now is to put us in a position where we have no choice. And that's really what you want. You don't want your customer to go to the competition. You want the customer to only be able to come to you. You want to be a commodity. You don't want to be in competition. That's what they're creating here. They're creating a commodity situation where you have no choice. And it's working, by the way, because they do have the power and the control. We can talk about this till we're blue in the face, but the reality, when it comes down to the reality, what can we do? I heard you ask that question at the beginning of this, and that's a real good question because as individuals, not much. But part of the problem that we run into is that liberals, or I should say people on the left, they're very good at getting together in groups and making things happen. And conservatives tend to be more individuals and autonomous, and they don't really join very well. And so it's very hard for us to ever get anything moving. And by the way, I think there's problems on both the conservative and on the liberal side of politics,
right.
As far as things go, because none of them want to lose that power. None of them want to lose that control. And none of what they're doing right now, I believe, is personally on my end of the fence, believe that anything that they're doing is for the benefit of the populace. And so all these decisions that are being made, both in Israel and here and, in Ukraine and everywhere else, basically all of that is being done at the expense of the populace. And I don't think it's good for us to tie that all in, because when you talked about America, and it was one of the things you were saying here, that America is kind of an evil place and seen as kind of an evil place right now, but it's not the people. It's the leadership, and
right.
It is for the reasons that I just said, because they are selling us out. And they sold this out. They sold this out, decades ago, actually. But we are used as tools. So that's what I'm at.
So I completely see your point, and I agree to it. And in my opinion, and this is my firm opinion, that only Americans can stop this from happening.
Yes.
Unfortunately, anywhere else, these countries are not smart enough, powerful enough. Even if they are protesting more than Americans, which just drives me insane. Like, it's starting here. All of this was conceived here, so I think it has to be stopped here. But here's the other thing that you said: they're treating us as commodities. Mm-hmm. So, what kind of a stupid business?
As customers. as customers that have no
Right.
choice and they want to be commodities themselves. They want to be in a position where we have no place else to go. That's why everything gets, you know.
But from a business model's perspective, that is super stupid to drive your customers to the ground because soon you won't have any customers.
But listen to what they did. Listen to what they did. What Ben said is exactly right. Think about it. They patented uh, um, vaccines, which is illegal. All right. So
Right.
they patented vaccines. Then they took the whole world and said, you must take our vaccines. Now, that is the best business model I've ever seen in my life. You have to do this. Everybody, you got 8 billion customers all of a sudden. And was that they brought us the virus and they brought us
Right.
the vaccine so that, they forced the whole thing so that the whole world would buy these things, and they made money like we've never seen before.
Right. I know, but and I have a very good follow up to that, but Bhavin hasn't spoken yet, so I want to hear his opinion, and then I will go for the follow up.
All right.
There's a lot of questions, man. A lot of stuff going on. I agree with some of the stuff people are saying. That's good, but I'm gonna touch the points that I think they haven't touched your questions on. So, who's in control of this? This whole thing. We're going back to the war section, right?
Right.
Again, World War I, World War II. You look at them. There's two sides, right? There's two sides of the coin, but wars never have to be two-sided. It could be three sides. There could be four sides. There could be more sides, right? So,
Right.
I'm thinking that this war is actually, it's not the question that who's in control. Obviously, each side is going to have their control. Like we have as Joe and what's the other guy's name? I forgot.
Ben.
Sorry,
Ben.
Right. So as Joe and Ben said that the American government is bad, not the American people. We also know the same thing for Chinese. Chinese people are not bad. Chinese government is bad, right? And so on goes for the Iran. So on goes for a lot of countries around the world. It's the government that's the bad. They want to do a lot of harm, and they have agendas, right? People on people level. They're not usually bad. They just want what we all want, right? Happiness and all these things. So what happens is, I think the next war is. And again, to answer your question, another question was, are they deploying to start a war? They are. Actually, there's been a lot of attacks that happened in the last 48 hours, mainly the last 24 hours, that is happening in Syria, where Russia's attacked, U.S. attacked and everything. But long story short, each side is going to have their own people in charge. They have agendas. So the next war, I see at least four sides going into it right now. And they're gonna some of the parties gonna switch around. Like right now, I think U.S. is with Israel, and of course Russia's helping Iran and all those people. But the way I see it, I think that might flip in the next 6 months, where I think Joe's gonna fuck it up somewhere somehow, and Israel's gonna probably just say, okay, fuck you guys, I'm out. And I think same thing's gonna happen with Iran and Russia, where Iran's gonna probably split from Russia. And going back to the Obama shit, right? They were funding all this money to Iran for all these fucking years or all these fucking decades, right? So I think at one point I see in the future, like 6 months, maybe a year from now, that US might be against Israel and helping Iran do some shit, while Israel might get on the side of Russia. But again, all that stuff is going to be dynamic for a while, because this war is actually dynamic. But yeah, it is, something is happening. Things are escalating. But as far as who's in control, it's every person has, or every party has their own agenda on how to run the world. So I think Joe said it earlier. Hitler obviously had his own vision on how to control the world in World War II. So I mean, that's how it goes, right? Stalin had the same vision. So each party, and I see 3 or 4 parties now, they all have their vision. Just like when we go to elections here, right? Republican Party, RNC has their visions, DNC has their visions, and then like the Libs have their shit going on, the Green Tea Party has their shit going on. So everybody wants to control, which is the word, in the history, is control. And I don't think the people who are trying to control are always smart. I think Ben said it earlier. It's a business where If you eliminate all of your competition, then you have a monopoly. When you have a monopoly, basically they're gonna be buying from you. There's nothing else to buy from, and that's basically communism. That's basically socialism, right? Like there is no other option. You don't have an option, and so whoever is gonna win the war at the end of the day, of course, they're gonna implement their vision. Um, we just gotta hope. And so I know Kalki said earlier, you don't want to live in Russia, you don't want to live in China. But again, to me, I think I mentioned this in the last or the two sessions ago, that everything is dynamic. Nothing stands forever. Even the Roman Empire fell after 400 years. Any empire you take in the history, right? They were good at one point and then they fall, right? U.S. has been good for 240 years, but because now we have idiots running the freaking country, yeah, we could fall any minute, or we probably have already fallen for all we know. But the thing is, that doesn't mean that the bad actors like Russia or China or any other country for that fact, who are bad until now, cannot become good, right? Because every person always has a chance to, become better any given day, right? Because everybody gets a second chance. That same thing applies to countries as well. So in the future, we just don't know if US falls, who's going to be the next best option? And from that perspective, things are dynamic on every freaking level. Every decade it changes, right? So, but yeah, the word of the game is control, manipulate, eliminate, and then obviously they want them to do whatever's only that one option left, and that's what's going on. But
Okay.
hopefully, whatever happens, I hope whatever happens, we come out on the top. If not, that somebody else who's good comes out on the top. So whoever comes out on the top, I hope they have good agenda for the world, and the world can still be in peace if the good side wins.
Right, and which is a big if at this point, because from mythology, or as you talk about different scriptures, they all point towards good people losing. So, and they have been quite accurate with most of the predictions.
No, not
And
always. I would say good people always lose battles. They never lose the war though. So like anything you look at it carefully, yes, you're gonna lose some battles here and there, but the war, like the entire thing, usually good always wins, right? From every culture, every
but right, it's sad, but I have not seen that in real life. You know what I mean? I have not seen good win. Like after Durham report, the report that basically outlines that Trump won, who colluded. The report even names people. And in a country which is supposed to be the role model for the rest of the world, people are not even discussing that report. Forget about even taking any constitutional or legal actions against it. Like, if that shit would have happened in India, the government would have been overthrown overnight.
But think of it this way. So think of this, right? This shit, for example, we talked about American Corporation, right? That
Right.
was established in 1871. That's 150 years ago. So if this play, for example, let's just say take that 150. So if this
Mm-hmm.
play has been going on for let's say 150, 200 years, right? For example, then yeah, what you want to see, right? Obviously, we weren't even alive then. So what you want to see might not happen for the next 5 years, maybe 10 years. I mean, it could be something because on that scale, right? Snapping a finger still takes like 2 years, like so
Right.
it depends. So this play has been going on for, I would say, well, 150 years for the American Corp. But if you look at before that, right, UK, which is the one who owns the American Corp, these guys were actually had colonies everywhere, right? So did the France, so did other countries. But UK has always come out as like one of the bad actors overall compared to other colonies.
Right. Yeah.
So so if you look at them, they had colonies going on, I think, from basically 1600s, if I'm not wrong. So that's a 400-year play. If that's the case, yeah, we might not see good until we turn freaking 85 years old, for all we know, right? Like 40 years from now.
No, but it's true.
So
It's true.
this play is a long play, so it's gonna have a little slower results,
You see good come
Yeah.
usually after a bad season. Things kind of like this move. I believe anyway in kind of a cyclical way, and you do you get it goes. We're gonna have to hit rock bottom. I believe personally, it's going to get worse. I'm kind of black pilled that way, and it kind of needs to because America has gotten very fat and happy, and comfortable. And when you get into a situation like this, you begin to you begin to create problems that really aren't problems, just so that you have some kind of drama that you can grab onto. Every generation kind of does that, and I think that that's what you're seeing with the generation now. I mean, really, it's there are some truly rough things that this generation has to deal with, but all in all, it's a very, very soft uh, culture right now. It's a soft environment, and anyone can really make it in America if you just apply just a little bit of effort. I mean, you look back 50 years ago, what it took to be a success, and you'd be crazy to think that it isn't easier today. But we've become such a soft society, and that's always going to end bad. Hard times are created by soft people, and that's what I think.
Right, but so I have to ask something there. So let's say now you guys are soft, right? You, as you're saying, I don't believe that. Number one, the reason is when you go to a gym, you see how people are actually lifting, and I have not seen people this strong in my entire life, and I've been going to the gym. So no, but let me bring to that the obesity side you're talking about. So people have not done this to themselves. We have to understand that this American corporation that meant harm for its own citizen, which does not make any freaking sense to me. Any freaking sense to me. Why would you harm your own citizen and make them weak? But they have done it to you guys.
Yeah. So just to clarify what Ben was saying, right? When he said soft and hard, I wouldn't tie it up with like physical strength. What that means is shaping a character of a person.
Right.
So,
I know I understood that part. I definitely understood. But what I'm trying to say is that's the perspective that this media is selling you, but it ain't the truth.
But here's the thing. So I'm gonna give example in the last 3 years, right? What happened is Trump came in 2014, right? I mean, he started, or 2015 when he started running for the presidency, right? And everybody hated him for the next 6 years, right? The 2 years when he ran, and of course the 4 years into his presidency, everybody hated him, including actually the seventh year, which is 2021, when he was out of office for 1 year. So
yep, me too. Cannot agree more.
Right. So people hated him so much for no freaking reason because they were soft, meaning they were stupid to not realize what is right and what is wrong. But what happened is he left, right? And so what happens is now the last 3 years, people started getting hurting with their wallets, right? Because of the inflation, because of the fucked up policies, because of the bullshit that Biden is fucking everything up. And so now people realize the hard way that, hey, you know what? Did I make a mistake? Did I threw out the wrong guy because I hated him so much. So a lot of people are now coming around, learning from that soft times when they had it good. They all they had to do was just hate the guy for no reason, right? The guy leaves, and now things are getting harder, right? Because they can afford food, they can afford gas, whatever, right? They can't afford life, basically. So now they learned the hard way, saying, "Oh shit, we fucked up." And so that's why a lot of Democrats in the last 3 years are now coming around to realizing that, okay, we can still remain Democrat, but Biden is just a fucked up. Like that's not a Democrat we want to be, right? So now they're looking for you see what I'm saying?
No, I see that point. Again, on Trump, the way you have portrayed it, again, I won't say I was against Trump or I was pro Trump, but I saw his good back then too. And I think the reason Americans got into that situation is because all the malice that was spread around this guy inaccurately. And he was not helping himself because he played into that scenario where he gave people more reasons to hate him instead of see. They were not like he was the first guy to put pressure on big pharma to reduce the drug prices.
I think no matter how
never got credit for it, right?
Well, I was gonna say, no matter how he acted, if he defended himself or not defended, that wasn't gonna make any difference because the media is the one gonna paint it bad anyway. But now, because the media is painting it bad and people are getting hurt with their wallets, they see that media is now exactly what Trump was saying. So again, what we're saying is the truth never gets hidden, right? It always gets exposed. So over time, when you leave a situation alone and it still
Right.
gets worse, then you know the root problem is not like such person or certain thing. Then you start looking around saying, what the hell is causing the problem? So media was going to portray him bad, even if he defended or not defended. I think he did a good job defending, because if he didn't defend, he would come out as a soft guy. We don't want a soft guy, right? So I think he did everything right, defending himself. Media still put a negative picture on him, but now media is getting exposed because now they're covering up Biden's, right? For example, everything that goes bad, they're covering up Biden. So now people go like, okay, we know Biden sucks now. Like the people who voted for Biden, they're saying that Biden sucks because he's making me poor. And oh, media still covering them. Oh, media must be bad too. Because
Right. And that's exactly my point. Now people are waking up. So,
correct.
my next segment on this would be, let's say the draft is going to come and Biden gets his wish and he starts World War III, because that seems to be his motive at this point. Number one, my question to the panel will be: Is our current youth ready to get drafted, even if they're obese? Sure, those numbers are there, but I believe because they were fed poison nonstop. So of course that's going to be the case. And number two, bigger question is there going to be an election? Because at this point, if the war happens, and we already see Zelensky canceled the elections, Israel also election coming up, and Netanyahu was going to jail, so he started all this nonsense to seize power. That's going to happen here eventually, because that seems to be the play. So, what the panel thinks about it? Let's start with Ben again, Ben, Joe, and then Bhavin. Do we still have Ben, or he got disconnected? Oh, he's back to listener. Sorry. I don't know why he keeps getting kicked out, but I made him speaker again.
Ben, are you there? Oh, nope.
Oh, he sent a request, so hold on. He's ready, I think.
Yeah, it's just even as a listener only. So
And he got disconnected. Whoa, shit. All right, back to Joe. Go ahead. Draft and then election next year. What do you think?
Draft is possible. People will not be able. There will be a large group that will not be able to pass muster for the boot camp. But instead of flunking them, they'll just lower the standards and let those people in. It's kind of sad that we've done this to our own people, but that's what they've done. Um, will it turn into World War III? I am not sure. I don't think it's the end of the world. I do think it's a possibility to have a World War III. And I'm not sure. And an election, the election, I don't know if there will be an election. I've actually been saying that kind of for a long time, but I believe we could have an election, a normal, honest election, if the major players are found out and exposed, because then we'll get rid of those people, right? The media,
Right.
the people who are running the media would be taken away because they've been lying to the American people for so long. The politicians, the entertainers, I don't care who they are, if they've been lying to you for all this time, and they're found out and they're exposed, then they're going to be gone. So then we could have, and I do believe Trump will be back in office, and he will have a Congress that backs him instead of one that is fighting him every step of the way. Whether that happens through an election or through a legal action because of whatever transpires, the exposing the truth coming out, I'm not sure, but I do believe we could have an honest election if the American people were able to see the extent of the lies that the left has been putting in front of their face.
Right,
Nothing
and
wrong
which
with it.
baffles me because we just saw multiple hearings where it has been proven that there were counterfeit votes. And I'm like, why is it not being talked about everywhere?
Right. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. And the funny thing is, I still know people who will deny that Biden is a bad guy, that he's incompetent, that he's, and they'll tell you that Trump has committed 1 million crimes and is going to prison for several lifetimes. It amazes me. Just amazes
So
me.
we just got
I
Ben
just
back.
came back. I
Ben,
don't
you
know
wanna?
why I keep getting kicked off. It is really weird. I got to keep trying to get on, but I'm back.
All right. So the question was around number one: is our youth draft ready, and how is that gonna go? And if Biden gets his wish of World War III, then there might not be an election next year. And what do you think about that?
I think as far as the are you you're saying are we? What was the first question again? I'm sorry.
There could be a draft coming soon, and American youth will have to fight this World War
I
III.
don't think they're going to. I think social media has done its job as far as all that goes, and I think you're going to have a real hard time getting the majority of the youth to be drafted. In respect to that, I don't think I still think coming back to what I was saying before about this generation being soft. I agree with you in the sense that not everyone, definitely not everyone. I know some people in their 20s and 30s, very very strong-willed, very good autonomous people who really can think with their own minds. But I think as far as a draft goes, or us going to war, or as far as going and fighting overseas, either in Ukraine, or you said they're already sending troops to Israel and into Gaza. Those are people that are already in. But as far as drafting people to go fight that war, I don't think you're going to see it, in my opinion. And then the second one, as far as us having an election, I think we'll have an election. Yeah, I don't think it'll be fair. I think it's going to be what we had last time. I think there's a very big time corruption within our electoral process. I've worked with the Clean Elections campaign, and I can tell you firsthand, it comes back to what I was talking about before. They're trying to put us in a position where we have no choices. Your choice is this. And I just don't think so. The election will be held, but will it be clean? I seriously doubt it.
But so if the war happens, number one, draft, you don't have a choice. You go fight and die, whether you're fit or not. That's my understanding. Maybe I might be wrong there, and I would like to be more educated on that. And on election, well, I do agree if it's gonna be. Well, I don't know if we have an election. I don't think it's gonna be unfair this time because, as Joe has mentioned many times, people are watching this time and they are watching wide awake. And now more information has come out on their techniques. I don't think they have enough time to develop a new technique to cheat this time.
Watching and controlling are two different things.
Sorry, what was that?
I was saying watching and controlling, or actually taking part and doing something, those are two different things. And I think there's a lot of people that are like, we're aware this time. Well, who's aware? Who's in control this time that wasn't in control last time?
True.
But I'm not. At the same time, you can only cheat so far. Yeah. And I don't think people are on board with Biden. I just don't. Even on the left.
I just want to say that the people who are watching will be the people, meaning all the Americans who saw last time will be at those ballot boxes. So if somebody's stuffing ballot boxes, they're going to be on Facebook Live, they're going to be on YouTube Live, they're going to be videotaped everywhere. So I don't think they can do the mule deal again. The computer cheating, I don't think they're going to be able to do that. They're not going to be able to stop the votes, kick out the Republicans, and just bring in truckloads of Biden ballots. So I just think there's not gonna, it's not gonna be like that this time because too many people are watching those things. If they come up with something new, it's gonna have to be pretty damn good. I don't know what
I agree. That's such a hard question, because there's so many variables to it. So, God, I would have never thought Biden would have taken the last election. Not in a million years. I mean, based on what my own two eyes were showing me, and there it was. So,
Biden didn't take the last election anyway. It's just a manufactured shit anyway. But what I would say, your two questions are tied up, right? And I'm gonna answer with the chess. If I understand their chess correctly, this is what they're doing, right? So the Zelensky playbook that they give Zelensky to do, right? Which is, hey, we're gonna get the war going on, so you can obviously cancel the election. So Biden is been wanting to start a World War III. Obviously, he wants it because he can then say that, hey, we're in a war, we're not gonna go through election. But looking at U.S. history, war or no war, we go through elections, right? So I think election's gonna happen. They're gonna make it, but the election will not be Biden versus Trump. I can guarantee you that. The election is going to be some other douchebag from DNC, most likely some female from DNC, right? Democratic Party, and it could be Big Mike, which is we all know as Obama's husband, Michelle Obama. Probably is that or somebody else, but it's gonna be a female that they're gonna pick from DNC. They're gonna do it last minute, like 2 or 3 months before, and they're gonna put their name on the ballot, and it's gonna be them versus Trump. It's not gonna be Joe. But Joe, of course, as a politician, right? Joe is going to push for this World War III so much, but the Senate and the House will probably reject him. Obviously, if you don't want to go to the war, not against Russia for sure. But again, Joe's going to keep pushing for it. That's his playbook because he wants to not give up the presidency, right? Which is, again, he's not a president. First of all, he's not a president, but he doesn't want to let go of hijacking the DC, right? I've been saying from first day, he has hijacked DC and he is gonna keep the hijack going on, and that only way can do that is by keeping, the war going and doing the Zelensky playbook, which is say cancel the election. But DNC, RNC, everybody else in the America are not gonna go with that. They're gonna kick his ass out. But like I said, they're gonna put somebody else in the DNC versus Trump. If not Trump, then it's gonna be somebody like DeSantis or Nikki Haley or somebody. But election's going to happen. Now, as far as what Joe was talking about, right? They're going to watch out for everything that we know how to watch out for, right? The softwares, the actual ion, having the counters, like the people who count or witness the vote, one from DNC, one from RNC at every voting place. But they could always cheat in a new way. I can also state that they can cheat, but I'm not going to do that because it gives them ideas. So I'm not going to ever say anything. If we have ideas,
don't give them ideas, bro.
If you're smart, don't ever say any ideas because you don't give them getting any ideas. But they're going to try something new. There are ways they're going to try something new. They may succeed, may not succeed. But I think people are tired of the shit going on. So I think no matter what they do, I think 80 or 90% of the population will probably just go vote for Trump or whoever is in the Republican seat. It doesn't matter at the moment who's going to be the Republican. If Trump gets blocked, it don't matter. Whoever, it could be Trump Jr., it could be whoever, it doesn't matter, right? So, and as for the draft, I think what Joe said is what I was imagining happening, right? Basically, they're gonna say, "Hey, I want to draft people to send them to." Right now, they're sending them to Syria, right? So, we're drafting people to send them to different locations, right? What happened in the last 48 hours is happening in Syria. But long story short, they're gonna try to draft people, and they're gonna lower the qualification, like you said, Kalki, right? But if people are smart, you still try to fail it. Like if they come to me and say, hey, yeah, let's go, we gotta test you out. I'm just not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna like pretend like I don't know jack shit. So I'm gonna just fail the whole damn thing. They're gonna lower the qualification. I'm still gonna try to fail that shit too, right? But
I don't think there is a qualification barrier when it comes to draft, other than if you cannot hold a gun. That's what
correct. So I'm
Zelensky
not gonna
did.
hold a gun.
But there
But
is a barrier in boot camp. You have to crawl under barbed wire and get bullets shot over your head and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, but like, here's what I'm saying. If they say, okay, you have to know how to hold a gun, right? Yeah, you can hold up a gun and just point it at them. They're like, oh no, don't know this. Yeah, don't send me. You see what I'm
that's a
saying?
good
There's always
idea.
a way.
Yeah, people have to know this. More people have to talk about how to get out of this draft.
Yeah, so do
So
whatever.
give all the ideas. Talk about every single idea you can think of so that people are educated. Most of the people don't think about these things.
Yeah, all the safety rules, just do the opposite, right? So, the safety rules are, yeah, you don't point the gun at somebody, if it's a bow and arrow, you don't point the arrow at somebody, you don't draw the bow, like the same thing. Like if the safety lock is there, you take it off right away. Just do this, the non-safe shit in front of them and make them feel uncomfortable. They'll be like, oh, no, you go home. Exactly. I want to go home.
That's good. Okay,
I,
so okay, go ahead, please.
I just want to say this. I actually had a friend who went on a high hill with his motorcycle, drove his motorcycle down the back of the hill into a fence so that he could break a leg and not have to be drafted.
Oh damn! Yeah, people are gonna go for some crazy stuff. Okay, so playing devil's advocate, keep going with this chain of thought, and then I'm gonna pivot to something completely crazy. But before that, let's say the war happens and the election happens, and they still manage to pull it off, and they are still in power. What does the American people do?
American people are going to form militia and we're going to take over the government. It's going to be public. I think anybody who steals this one time again, I think people will not let it slide. Because here's the thing. Here's the difference. So when Trump became president, right, the other side cried. But what were they crying about? They're just crying, oh, Trump says this, or Trump is a meanie, or Trump is blah, 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 right? They were crying about what Trump was saying, right? It's not
Right.
that his actions were not bad. They knew that, but they're just crying because they were sensitive, they were soft, right? They were like the snowflakes, like, oh, I don't, blah, blah. But now look at it here. Biden came. Now people are actually crying, right? It's not a fake cry anymore. It's like, shit, man, we can't afford food, we can't afford gas, we can't afford goddamn anything. Our salaries went, our cost of living went so high. So now people are actually crying, and the people are crying on both sides. It's not just one side; it's both sides, right?
Yeah, but they're still not giving him up. That's the problem. They still think Democratic Party is the right party.
No.
That is still.
No, but the difference is the people who are not giving up is a very minority. It's probably like 10%. It's not more than that.
That's all these suckers need to win the election again, because they don't count the votes.
What I'm saying is the 90% ain't gonna see silent anymore.
I believe if we have a fair election, it doesn't matter if Trump starts his own party or he's off of the thing and he'll win and a write-in. I do believe he's going to win no matter what. He will be the president.
Right, but that's not the point. My point is these people won again by cheating. What does the American people do at that point?
They're gonna fight back.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. But what about Ben and Joe? Those who are traditionally more typical Americans than us. Yeah, we are Indians. We will fucking fight. That's what we do.
Yeah, I believe we would have to. What Trump tried to do is take over the government the right way through the system. He questioned the election, and that's the exact thing that Hillary and all of the Democrats did when he was when Trump was elected. They questioned the election, but nobody took him to court over it. Nobody arrested him,
Right.
but he questioned it. But they also, went and made this movie. Pelosi's daughter is a documentary filmmaker, and she went in. They went in with a plan and made this movie and showed that movie over and over again. So they think that Trump was trying to start an insurrection. But I mean, it's ridiculous to think about when you
Oh,
look
yeah.
at it, because if conservatives who are supposedly gun crazed, violent, evil people, were going to do an insurrection, I think at least one of them would have brought a gun. But you had all these people doing the insurrection without firing a shot, without anything. But anyway, the point is that I think we will have to go beyond the system, because the system is broken. But I think we will be exposing those people, and then the people will wake up and move on it.
But let's say, although chances of that happening are fairly low, let's say that does happen, then they're just gonna call you guys gun crazy who are trying to take over the government and are not accepting the results of an election. And then will actually do to you what they did to January 6th committee people.
Well, take a look.
Not committee, but January 6th people, right?
Well, yeah, but here's the thing. When they're exposed for arresting people who did no wrong, or just happened to be there, when they're, which they even admitted it, they did a manhunt, a violent manhunt with FBI and all, just a massive amount of people going after one guy because, and they said right in the news report, he didn't do anything wrong, but he was there. That's what they said. They're going after this guy, crazy manhunt, going after this guy because he happened to be there at the time. When that kind of stuff is revealed to those whose eyes are closed at the moment, and there's going to be some rage, because there is rage right now from these people because of the lies. I mean, meaning they believe the lies, and so there's rage against Trump and there's rage against his followers. But when they find out the truth, that rage is going to be, it's going to flip flop. It's going to backfire. It's going to go on the others. So on the people who are telling the lies. So yeah, I think those people are willing to run out and throw bricks and do whatever it takes to make something happen.
But see, nothing is happening like that right now, and enough evidence is out already, and people are still in denial.
People are still hypnotized. I don't know any other
way to say it. Exactly.
They're still hypnotized. But once their eyes are opened, it'll be a different story. And it'll
is the okay, Ben? Your opinion on the same matter? Ben, you're on mute. Did we lose him again?
There we go. I don't know why I couldn't unmute it there. Man, again, so much to unpack. I mean, it is amazing to me sometimes when people can see things with their own damn eyes, and then they listen to their friends or the media or their family, and then they go, "Oh, here's what you really saw." I mean, my God, everybody saw what that was all about. Okay, there was an insurrection that's ridiculous. Okay, it's just silly.
Yeah.
Okay, mm-hmm. And everybody damn well knows it, and it gets old listening to people talk about this. But they put on I don't know how it gets into people's minds. It's like a magic trick, and they fall for it. This misdirection that people are so easily. It blows my mind how easily people are manipulated.
Right.
Even with all the stuff that's going on with all the war, making it kind of blowing it up to a bigger picture. Everything that's going on with all of the culture war stuff that's going on right now. All of the, the insurrection is one of them. But whether you're talking about open borders, you're talking about,
to support your point,
or the
people forgot
any of that. Yeah.
People forgot about Lahaina. Hawaii.
Yes.
It was not even that long ago.
Well, that's because
We still don't have answers.
it's like, don't look at what the right hand, don't look at what this hand's doing. Look at what this hand's doing. And that's the way magic tricks are done. If you know anything about magic, it's done with misdirection. It's where your focus is put. And people fall for it. And I sat there and watched a magic trick 3 or 4 times. I'm talking about an actual magic trick now.
Right.
And said, I can't figure out how he's doing it. But that's how good these magicians get at misdirecting your attention and making you not see what they, or making you, I should say, see what they want you to see. And it just blows my mind. It really does, because I have conversations with people. It's like, man, you saw the same thing I saw, and I can't believe how 2 people can have different versions of it. But it's the narrative, again, that's being sold, because they don't want you to have another way to think. They want you, the whole thing, and that's one reason also why they're throwing everyone in jail that was either there or talks out about this, because they want to scare everyone into complacency and say, no, this is the only thing you can see. And once they do that, we're done. And
but then that should be the telltale sign that these guys are abusing power and trying to misdirect you. Like, how stupid people have to be to not see that.
Yes. All of it. Just the whole leftist narrative, all the way down from the division between races, the division between genders, they're trying to. The things that I see, it's not the people. This is what I want to make clear. It's not the people, at least that I talk to, and maybe it's just the area that I live in or something. They're not fooled by any of this garbage. But it's our leaders that continuously pitch the narrative,
right.
And I don't know.
It's frustrating.
I sometimes ask myself, I have to ask myself this too. Is it as what's the word I'm thinking of here? Like, prevalent as they're making it out to be, as the news is making it out to be, or the media is making it out to be? Because I'm not saying that there's not anyone out there that doesn't buy into the narrative that's being sold, by Hollywood and by big business and by the politicians. But I just don't see it in the populace. I don't see it in the people that I talk to. And I'm not talking about just the circles that I run in. I'm talking about just strangers that I talk to.
Right.
And I think, yeah, go ahead.
I feel the same way. You're right.
Yeah. So I'm not completely sold that this is all as bad as it's being made out to be, but it can be. But we're not the ones that pull the strings. Is the thing. Where, it's our politicians. It's big business. It is Hollywood and the way that they influence people. And I don't know.
I understand. All right. So, Bhavin, your comments on this before I pivot.
So what was the question?
Oh, the question was just, actually, I think we already covered you, but if you had any rebuttal on that, but if not, then okay, I'm going to pivot.
Yeah, go through that. Yeah.
So, and I will start with Bhavin on this one. Bhavin, and actually to the panel, I have been seeing these videos. Now, I'm not a flat earther. I do not believe in that. But there have been some very compelling talks about, and the reason I love the idea is because it's so tantalizing. Right? So, what I have, and this has resurfaced in last week alone, that there is an ice wall, which we all know as Antarctica, and all the mythical places we have heard about in the past, whether it's Atlantis or what was the other one with L, like the bunch Mesopotamia and all that, some names like that, they are all real. That's where the other side of the civilization actually still lives, and we are kept inside this bubble, and we are not allowed to interact with them, or they don't want to interact with us, and all the governments are complicit in it. And I'm like, if that's the case, Elon Musk, a guy like that who has all these satellites, would have already put it out there to see. But even let's analyze it from both perspectives. What are the possibilities of this being true, and what are the possibilities that we are not made aware of it, and then it's just completely batshit crazy bonker stuff, and there's no chances of it happening.
Okay. I'm gonna have a different answer for this, but I don't know if those guys want to go first because
No, I want
I'll explain to you in a different way this one.
I want you to start this time
Okay,
because,
all right.
and we already lost Ben again.
Okay, sure. So I'm gonna cover something that we already discussed this in the previous episodes. Basically, um, people are selling lies. The answer is yes, right? They keep you in a bubble. That's also true. Some of the stuff from the history could still be in existence right now. That's a possibility. Is there a center in is the Earth hollow and civilizations like some of them that you mentioned maybe not Atlantis, but there are other ones that live there. It's possible, right? We don't know that because we haven't been there. It's, for example, we have not been to the bottom of the ocean, so we don't know how many species there are in the ocean because
Right.
humans, we are not, as a species, we are not able to get everywhere, even inside the earth or in the ocean of the earth, right? So definitely we haven't been to moon, we have not been to the Mars and all these things. I don't think Earth is a flat. Obviously, those people are just talking, batshit crazy. The way it goes is when someone talks about anything stupid, right? Well, not I won't say stupid, but anything that they want to portray, for example, flat earthers. Yeah, they're gonna have all these conversations the way they want it because everybody in the room wants to hear that, right? There's no
Right.
challenge in the room, so the conversation does not get challenged. As long as that doesn't happen, they live in that bubble of, hey, we're all flat earthers and we're gonna have a flat earth. Sure, they can do that. That's what the world did technically before Columbus found I guess before he proved that the earth is around, right? But the civilization only goes and finds new things until then. So there was a point where, in the history where they said, oh, the earth is the center and the sun goes around, right? And I'm not talking
Right.
about Earth. I'm just talking about Earth is a ball, but it's in the center of the universe. And then they go like, no, 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 sun's in the center of the solar system. And the sun now goes around the freaking galaxy, right? And then all the galaxies are just going crazy everywhere. It's expanding. So we learn as we go. Now, there is something I'm going to say, which is, I think we talked about this in the past about dimensions. So
Right.
we are in the third dimension being. So anything that's in the fourth and the fifth dimension and above, we cannot see. And anything in
Right.
the second dimension, we can see some stuff, but not all of it. So, for example, what's in the second dimension that we cannot see? There are spirits, there are ghosts, there are, 15, 20 different types of classification of spirits, meaning souls without bodies, right? Now, they do make themselves feel their presence when they want to. So, the reason I brought that up is the beings in the fourth, fifth, and so on, upper dimensions, and beings of those in the second dimensions without body, they are there. We cannot see, but we only get to hear or know them or get in contact is when they make the contact. Just like if you think of it from an alien perspective, again, aliens are not higher or lower dimensions. Aliens are just third dimension beings from a different planet. That's what alien is. It's not anything different from us. But
Right.
what I'm saying is due to the space and dimensional facts, if someone wants to get in touch with you or specific people, they will make a contact and then but the majority of the people may not be contacted and they don't know. But now taking it further to the control part, let's say, for example, aliens contacted somebody or even the fourth dimension beings contacted somebody, right? And so on. They're going to do it to higher authority that they know that they're going to help them in winning a cause, whether they're saving the earth, saving humanity, saving other species, saving other worlds or other galaxies, whatever the case may be, right?
Right.
Yeah. So if they're in control, they may not pour down that information, right? And we know this best. America, obviously, the keyword they use is, oh, we don't want panic, right? So anything that they do, which is good or bad, they never want to let the people know. Whether, like, for example, faking the moon landing, which is, I believe it is fake. But they're gonna say, "Oh no, we went there, blah blah blah." Okay, whatever. They're running a narrative down, right, for a control purpose.
Right.
So, summarizing this, are there things beyond our visions, beyond our capabilities or reach? You know, the bottom of the ocean, inside the earth. Because Russia drilled the biggest hole in the world, which was 7.5 miles, which was the
Right.
deepest hole. But it's just a hole. Like the crust is much thicker than that. So do we have people who went to certain places? They could have seen something. It's possible. Did they try to spread that information out? It is possible. Was it blocked? We definitely know it's blocked because we get blocked every day nowadays. So
But my my
shit like
question
this
to you
happens.
would, but my question to you would be, uh, after all the satellites we have there, do we have any satellites that give you live feed of the Earth? Are you aware of any of that? Because I am not personally.
No, actually, in fact, I'll say something that people don't actually know. So every image, every animation that you might have seen from NASA or from any other space agency around the world,
Mm-hmm.
all of those pictures and all of those images are not what we think they are because they all have to be edited and they all have to be filled in with the colors and everything. So, for example, every image of the Earth you've seen as a ball, every image of whatever moon or everything that you've seen, they're all not in their original form. They're all edited. In fact, all the
Right, and
galaxies and
that's
everything.
that's exactly what makes me amazed, like about these things. Because let's say it's not a flat Earth; it's still a round Earth, but there is a possibility there is a huge chunk of land that
Correct.
we are not even aware of because we have never seen it, and there is no reason to hide it until unless you are trying to hide it, and
Unless it's
that's why
some
we
kind of
don't.
military base. Yes, exactly. So
Right?
you're right. I think Superman comics do this best, right? I think what was it, Lex Luthor, right? There are some episodes I've seen when I was a kid where he throws he blasts some missiles out, which is supposed to create the land, and then now he has his extra base now where he stores kryptonite, and then that's how he tricks the Superman, all this other bunch of bullshit. But yeah, it is true. Volcanoes happen every day, right? And there's a lot of sandbars. Sandbars basically where the water's only like a few feet deep, so you can literally like walk in the ocean for a long time. Like I've been to many of them, so you just walk in the ocean, and I think that's where some of the people might say like, oh, that's kind of like Jesus walking on the water. Yeah, it's kind of like that, yeah, because the water's not deep. Now imagine volcano happens there. Yeah, the land's gonna rise up because volcano is gonna cool down. It's gonna become a rock, and that's how islands are formed. But you're right. There could be a lot of islands, a lot of new mass of land that just comes up, and that could come up anytime. And they could hide that and make a military base. And of course, now they're gonna, program the satellite to not ever take image of that particular land because
Area.
that's how they
Right.
do that.
There is definitely hiding something, and it's on us to find it out. What do you think about this, sir? Go ahead.
I don't know. I think there's I think I hate this app because it keeps kicking me off. I think there's a conspiracy against.
It's yeah, exactly. It's not the app. Yep, basically. Exactly. Our channel actually, like our podcast, I never see anybody actually listening or viewing it, but I have heard from people that we love your episodes, and I'm like, it's not showing in the count. What the hell?
Something's going on. There's my conspiracy. The Earth is round. That's for sure.
Because all the other planets are, and there he goes. Okay. He lost him. God damn this conspiracy. Why? Oh my God.
You cannot say the Earth is round.
Oh shit.
I think he brings in a lot of credibility from his other podcast, right? And they don't want him to mingle with us.
Oh my God. Okay, Joe, you go ahead till he comes back.
Okay.
Oh, he's back.
Oh, he's back. Let's see.
Or connecting again. Go ahead, Joe. That's fine.
Are you back, Ben? Okay. All right. So anyway, yeah, I believe the Earth is round. I do believe we landed on the moon. I think
Hmm.
they take a lot of different videos that were taken at different times at different places and put them out there and say, "Look, see this? What's that?"
Welcome back.
Oh, all right. We'll let you talk.
Okay. Yeah, as far as like the conspiracy stuff, I love science fiction, and it's like all the films I've done were all sci-fi films. I love that kind of stuff. The paintings I paint, they're all from the imagination and all of that. So I'm all about that, but I'm also a realist, and I think that a lot of this stuff that you have to look at where the conspiracy is coming from too. If it's something that who's benefiting from the conspiracy,
Right.
who's you know what I
Definitely.
mean, and I had a lot of this when we were talking about the COVID stuff. I was talking to people about should I get the shot, should I not get the shot, and I go, well, I think the people who are developing the shot, I don't think that they're necessarily have any devious means, but I think that the way that it's being rolled out and the way that it's being used and the way that it's being used as a manipulator is okay. I think that there's, you see what I'm saying? So it depends on who's benefiting as to kind of where we go with whatever conspiracy. I think, I do believe in aliens. I think aliens are out there though. And I think also, I agree with Bhavin. Is it Bhavin? Am I saying that right? I don't want to say it wrong. I think it's,
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I think it's a dimensional thing. I do believe in multi dimensions, and that's kind of a scientific. That's kind of backed by science that would be the case. So, yeah.
Well, are you guys aware of Disclosure Project?
No.
Oh, you guys have to look into it.
Well,
somebody has already Disclosure Project.
Disclosure Project. I'll write that down.
Oh, your life is about to change. All three of yours. You have to.
This is about the aliens?
It's way much more than that. And this guy has basically open hearings in the House Judiciary Committee and a couple of committees now. And he's basically disclosing all the government agencies, those who are complicit. He has people, those who have worked with these aliens, who are willing to come out and share their testimony. They even have list of all the bases and all the higher up people, those who are basically stopping them. Oh, oh, yeah.
Sorry, what is it called? Disclosures, and is it a documentary or what is this?
It's a website. They have a documentary, and they already had hearings, and this thing's about to blow up. If I understand him correctly.
I did see something.
Yeah. So for Kalki, for the viewers, can you specify where how they can find out this stuff? Easily, YouTube, like where did you find stuff?
So he has a YouTube channel, he has a website, and but he's also on X. He's everywhere. Let me just give his name too. Just a second. Disclosure Project.
Yeah, because I'm saying this because that was easy for the audience to be more.
His name is Dr. Stephen Greer. And he has everything you want to know about aliens. He already told you. And
how do you spell his last name?
Greer. Greer, I guess. Dr. Stephen Greer.
I did see some hearings where they had some people on the panel that were testifying to the fact that there was evidence out there that aliens were real, and they were standing pretty hard on it. But I didn't get into it too heavy.
Well, if I understand him correctly, not only aliens are real and have made contact with these guys so that the information can come out, they are very peace-loving people instead of what the government is trying to project. And the only reason we are not multiplanetary already is because they consider as a hostile race and they do not want to do anything to do with us. And all the wars they keep interjecting in is because when we have these wars, they create impacts in other dimensions which are very, very difficult to deal with for them.
Yeah, well, basically the words are humans are still greedy. There are
Hmm.
like negative stuff, right? Jealousy and all these things. So yeah, they're obviously seeing that nations are having hard time with other nations constantly, right? That's
Right.
they don't want to introduce you to the next level, saying, hey, we have kind of like the Star Trek or Star Trek, right? They're saying, hey, we have this confederation or whatever, and then you gotta abide by these things and that. Because some episodes they kind of show you that where they go land on some planets and they don't want to abide by their rules or their trickery and all these things, right? So same concept, I'm pretty sure.
Right, pretty much. And I have to give credit to these people because they are so good at making us believe that when we believe in these ideas, we are the lunatics. Like if you wholeheartedly start to believe in these things and you start to discover things, before that, you're going to have so much self doubt. Are people going to call me crazy?
Yeah, I would agree that
Because
the aliens probably wouldn't really care much about us, because they would be kind of at a different level. Like it'd be like studying pigs in the mud,
right, basically,
We
right.
got, we
To
got
them,
better
we are the
things to
pigs.
do.
Right.
Yeah, but so there's the thing, right? The types of citizens, right? There's type 1, 2, 3, so on. But yeah, you're right. It's like we're not even type 1, which is kind of like insects running around.
So Bhavin, they are targeting you now. They are trying to censor you. You became robotic now.
It suddenly sounds like a sci-fi show.
Oh, shit. So, Joe, your thoughts on this before we go to closing arguments?
Well, it's funny because there is a lot of evidence that they don't seem to want us to see. I remember watching for a couple of years, I was looking at videos on YouTube that showed that dinosaurs still existed in the Congo,
Ooh.
and like pterodactyls and brontosaurus type animals, and that they basically keep it hidden. And they had a lot of really good evidence. I was really surprised. I don't know if it's true or not. I'm not saying I believe it, but I do think it's quite possible. So
Right.
there's a lot of things that are quite possible, but I don't believe it. The flat Earth thing. I don't think that has much credibility at all. But
No, I know. Flat Earth
pretty
might
much.
not have, but the idea that we still have a lot more land mass that we are not allowed to explore or even know about, that could be possible.
I want to say something. I want to say something stupid, right? It's not wrong. What I'm going to say is just for the joke purpose. But hey, Joe, maybe the Earth is flat and dinosaurs are on the basement level and we're on the first floor.
They're not letting us in that area because that's where the elevator is.
Oh man, and I hope Ben is enjoying these talks because this is what happens every episode. This is what we do. Okay, so
I really enjoyed this. This is really a lot of fun. I don't like getting kicked off all the time, but yeah, it's really fun.
I think they do. See, because when you're here, you're happy, you're having a good time, and they want us to be miserable, so they have to do anything.
I agree 100%.
So now we're gonna, because we are already like, oh my god, we are at almost 1 hour and 20-minute mark. Wow, the time flew today again. Closing remarks, and when I say closing remarks, it will be, with all this insanity, what gives you hope for the next year? Because the next year is almost here. So we start with our guest today, whom I hope is gonna be regular on the show now, Mr. Midnight America. Joe, go ahead.
Boy, That's a deep question. Kind of caught me off guard there. I would have to say that I'm just ready for a change. I'm ready for something different. I don't like, I think that we all need to be more awake and aware and in the moment and not be so distracted by everything that is going on in the world. Part of the reason why now with the Midnight American channel, I haven't been posting much on there lately because it started to actually depress me quite a bit, having to keep up with just current events and all of that. I always turned it into kind of a joke. If you go on there, most of the stuff is all tongue-in-cheek stuff, but it gets depressing, and it takes us away from really what I think is important. And I think that is probably the most important thing, is to know what's important and what is not. And a lot of what we're being forced to see and pay attention to. And by the way, that's the way they control you, is by making sure that they can only really control you if they make you care about stuff that is not important to your life. You know what I'm saying? And pull you away from the things that are important: your health, your family, your finances, your well-being, your friends, community.
Wow, he was making a good point.
Yeah, they dropped him.
No! Oh my God! Why the misery?
Important. When you said important, they just dropped him.
Yeah, like. Oh man, that's just crazy. Okay, Bhavin, till he comes back, or actually, you go ahead, finish your closing remarks.
To me?
Yeah, what gives you hope for the next year?
Yeah, so I'm gonna be consistent with my closing remarks. Obviously, question everything. Do all the stuff that you're supposed to do that we told you in all these episodes. Basically, question everything, and never be that person in the room that doesn't challenge. Right. So obviously, what that means is, if you're in a crowd and they're talking some bullshit because they're basically talking stupid shit, and you don't want to be quiet when this is something important that they're talking about. You have the responsibility to educate them, because obviously they don't know. That's why they're not talking out of the box. So question everything allows you to obviously web their information, but also educate them on what they don't know. Right. So do spread the good word, and do not forget, from the distractions, do not forget the events that are happening. Right. For example, we said it earlier, August 30, I think it was August 30 when the Lahaina happened, right? And now because of the new distractions, we forgot about that, right? So, keep your, events and everything in your mind, although they're trying to make you forget it. And basically spread the knowledge, and that's it.
But what gives you hope for the next year?
I don't think that far, because the thing is, next year is 360 days away, and we don't know what's going to happen in even 30 days. So, like I said, Lahaina happened 2 months ago, and a lot of shit has happened since then, right? Government shutdown. Then October 7th was the Israel, the massacre in Israel, I would call it. And then obviously last 2 days, something's happening in Syria. So shit happens a lot.
Okay, we are back to robot. We are back to robot, my Bhavin. All right. So thank you for that, Bhavin, I guess, because they don't want you to speak. I cannot do much about it. Ben, you want to finish your thought?
Yeah, I was just saying, that we need to take care of our own business and the things that we actually do have control over, and prepare for the worst, because the worst could happen. And if the better happens, that's awesome. That's really great. But it's out of our control. We need to be able to prepare, kind of be preppers a little bit, and prepare for the worst, and really hope for the best. And I think really that's the best that we really can do, because there's a lot that's out of our control, but there are things that are firmly within our control. And like I say, our health, our family, our friends, all those kind of things we need to focus on. That would be my hope for everyone in this coming year, is not to be distracted too much by all the the garbage that they're being just distracted by.
Right. And you said something in the beginning, which not beginning, but beginning of your closing remarks, something that actually uh, hit me in the heart, because the only reason I started this show is to have somebody to talk to and to talk through these depressing stuff and be still able to hold my head in place so that I don't lose it. And exactly my motive. And I hope you got that feeling
Right.
today.
Absolutely.
And I really appreciate you coming here. And then Mr. Joe, not Joe Biden, my Joe.
All right.
In case he's listening.
Hunter Joe. So, I want to say a couple of things. One, because we mentioned the Democrats and the Republicans, I want to remind people that Republican does not mean conservative. Conservative, I think, is always right, and the left is always wrong. As a matter of fact, I believe, and I've said this many times, whatever the left says, the opposite is usually true. So if you want to know the truth, watch Stephen Colbert and then just reverse whatever he said. Um, and
Seems right
how do
nowadays.
I have hope? Well, you guys know I'm a Christian, and I believe God is in control, and I believe that He's gonna, I want to say He's gonna make everything okay, but it's not gonna be okay the way that people think. Just because He's in control. I mean, the apostles went through a lot of really hard times, and pretty much every biblical character in the Bible went through hard stuff. But God is in control, and He gives us hope, because in the end we win, basically. So He told us things that have to happen. One of those things is there's going to be a world government with a world ruler and a world currency and a world religion, and that world ruler eventually, I don't think the first world ruler is going to be, but the second one is going to be the Antichrist, and that's going to lead us into the end of this world as we know it. So all of that's going to happen, but God planned it out, and God is still in control, and God can still, be with us through whatever we go through. So that's my thing. I just cling to God. That's it.
Very well said, and amen to that. Which I found out happens to be Arabic word and has completely different meaning in there. So, well, any case, oh, for me, you know, I don't know why, but I do spend a lot of time trying to speculate and try to predict and try to understand. And my experience says I have been right most of the time, even if it's in my obscure vision of this world. Let's say that. Um, so I feel that there is, as everybody is saying, there is no hope for some time. Probably, we are heading towards a very dark time. So you have to band together. I've been saying that forever. But beyond that, you have to understand that we the people gave up our power. We started believing in their fucking fake currencies. It started with basically dollarization, then it went into crypto and share market. All of this is fucking fake. We gave it value. We chose to give it value. And then these crazy lunatics thought, wow, how about I harness this fake currency and start gathering resources? So you don't have anything that is of value, and they bought your labor to buy things those actually have value. And till all of you start to realize that, and start to think for yourself, we are not going to get out of this bullshit. It's only going to get worse, and it's going to keep getting worse till people wake up and realize that the only thing that has value in this world is love, care, and passion for your fellow species, your earth, the place you live at, your home, your family, you know. You can keep watching all these superhero movies, want to be a superhero, when life gives you a chance every day to be a superhero and you pass on it. Here's the beauty of this thought. Those superheroes are making the sacrifice that you can make every day to be even 10% of them. And you aspire to be that. But they have tricked you in so immensely well that that's what you're aspiring to be, and you have no power to be that person. Do you know how good, how amazing they are at this game? And the only reason they are this good at this game because you are letting them. You are letting them win. So choice is yours. Next year is just gonna be the crappiest year in human history. If not, it's gonna happen this year itself. You know, we only buying time here. We only already know the end result. And no matter how much you fight now, you're not gonna be able to stop it. As everybody said, you can prepare for the worst, hope for the best, but best ain't coming. So think, have hope for a better future that most of us not gonna even make it to, enjoy. But hope that your kids, your fellow Americans, your fellow people on Earth get to. And that's the best hope I think I have at this point. That maybe I will not make it, but some people will, and then they will make the right choices and not let this be the future of Mother Earth, in time afterwards. And the shitty people, those who are doing this to us. Again, I keep saying, you are very good at it, and you are winning, but you know, time will turn, and you will be hunted for all the crimes you have committed against humanity. And for that, you can go fuck yourself and let us fuck in peace, because that's all I want. This is your host, Kalki Khaira for Rebels United. I want to thank Joe. I want to thank Bhavin, and I want to thank our new guest, uh, Midnight American, who goes by Ben, Juhl. Thank you, all of you, for being here and making this episode happen. Have a great rest of the night. Goodbye.